In today's episode, we talk about my newfound love for cowboy hats for like 20 seconds and how I'm upset I can't wear them with this headset on, but I'll make an adjustment. And we talk about pivots and adjustments from a place of proactivity versus reactivity so your business gets to work and you constantly get to win. So let's get into the episode. Well, hello, you beautiful humans. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, but it could be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But either way, I'm in your brain for a couple minutes or in front of your eyeballs rocking my pink hoodie. I'd be wearing my cowboy hat right now, except my headset doesn't fit over my cowboy hat. So I'm pretty stoked because I'm completing my moniker. If you go check it out on Instagram, I have two new nicknames. Number one is Hot Mess Cowboy. And number two is Montana Strawberry Shortcake. That's what I named myself. I'm okay with it. Pink shoes, pink hoodie, and a beautiful cowboy hat. I'm just bummed I can't wear my cowboy hat when I'm recording this podcast. But either way, you don't care about that per se. If you do, go check it out on Instagram. Today, what I want to talk to you about really quickly is pivots and adjustments versus reactivity. Pivots and adjustments versus reactivity. I got to give credit to where I heard this. I heard this a long time ago. I heard Gary Vee like 8 years ago say, if you're romantic about how you do business, you will go out of business. If you're romantic about how you do business, you will go out of business. We live in a world where things change every single day. Social media platforms change, advertising changes, the market changes, the world changes, the current state changes, everything changes. And with that, we have to be willing to pivot and adjust while continually moving forward. And I believe the difference between failure and success is being proactive in pivoting instead of reacting in pivoting. I struggled for years. I would be like, everything's great, launch didn't work, whoop, break check. And I would react because I had emotional reaction in my body. I took it personally, which clouded my judgment and my ability to see the entire field. And then my decisions were based out of fear or reactivity and couldn't ever possibly create a positive result. Versus now where I live and I look at everything like it's information and I have a pause period. I no joke have a pause period where if something comes up, a big decision, a purchase, a business decision, a pending lawsuit, litigation, which is all stuff I deal with. We're dealing with it right now. I put it in my calendar for 24 hours later. I'm not allowed to make a decision until that point. I have to protect myself so that I can be in my peak state. Now, there are times as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, where I have to make decisions in that moment. But the way that I see it is the more present I can be through breath, through my containers, through my calendar, through all the practices I have, I can pivot and adjust without being reactive and spiraling out of control. And really, it comes down to presence. And so one of the secrets to you succeeding, to me succeeding, is to always protect our needle movers, to always protect our foundational principles of our business working, whether that's sales calls, whether that's creating content, whether it's just showing up to the office. We all have a few things that are completely unaffected by the outside world that determine when the needle moves. We have to protect those things. But then once those are protected, we have to be willing to adjust and pivot to make the most out of those things, to make them as effective as possible, to reach as far as possible. And that comes with constantly checking in, constantly being aware, constantly checking current state to where we're never just coasting or ever gliding. And even when you're the best athlete in the world, you might be running your best race, but you're still checking your heart rate. You're still proactively hydrating so you don't get dehydrated. You're staying ahead of the curve. And that's going to be one of the secrets where we get to fall in love as entrepreneurs with pivoting, where we get to fall in love with adjusting. And I look at them as micro adjustments. I look at them as the ability of like we're fine tuning an old radio dial. You know, like I grew up with a radio, like FM stations, right? And you'll hear it. And after time, sometimes it'll get staticky and you just have to tilt that knob or turn that knob just a little bit and it's crystal clear. And that's what our job is as entrepreneurs. We get to the station and then we fine tune that station and we proactively make pivots to make it sound better, make it sound better. And that's the way that I look at business. And so we have to fall in love with being able to pivot and adjust, and we have to proactively pivot instead of reactively pivot. We have to be ahead of the curve. We have to realize like, hey, this race is going great, but I know if I don't stay ahead of my water intake, I'm going to get dehydrated. It's going to slow my pace down. Hey, I know my race car can go this fast, but it's going to burn up my tire. So let me conserve a little bit of energy and gas. I can go the longer game. This is a long game. And so today, tomorrow, this week, I want you to carry this in your brain that you can constantly be making current state analysis of where you are in your business. And it's okay to make adjustments, but not derailments. Measure them against your control. Make sure that you are constantly setting yourself up to win. But make sure that you're also proactively making decisions that will help you play a better game or succeed in business, because change is inevitable. And the faster we fall in love with it, the faster this game gets easier. And I have some stuff coming in the next podcast, which we'll talk about change, because there's a few of them coming around here. But for now, that's how I want to wrap today. So remember that relationships will always beat algorithms, and I will either see you in the next episode or you will hear me in your earballs, because this podcast is here to stay. But now it's time to cue the outro.